Good afternoon. I welcome you all in the second session of today's webinar. It is a proud moment for me to
No, I haven't. I was to
a
tell.
great personality
काय करू?
like Dr. Kavita Rege. She is ex-principal, Satya College, Villeparle, Mumbai. She was a rank holder in BSc and MSc examinations, Nagpur University. She has a PhD in chemistry from University of Bombay. She started career as a research scientist with Alchemy Research Center and later moved to Hindustan Liver Research. Further, she shifted to academics and joined Satya College. She has 34 years of teaching experience with 16 years as a principal. Under her leadership, Satya College was awarded A grade all three times by NAC. As a member, coordinator of the peer team of NEC, she was involved with assessment and accreditation in many colleges in many states. In 2004, college won the Best Institution Award of NCERT for its plus 2 level vocational course. Due to her innovative approach, Satya College adjudged the best college in University of Mumbai in 2013 and 14. Dr. Kavita always interested in all facets of student life in her college. She has worked on various committees at national and state level like केशव षष्ठी पुरस्कार समिती, महाराष्ट्राचे मनकरी अवॉर्ड, सेवाव्रती पुरस्कार, जीवन गौरव पुरस्कार. She was also on the advisory board of Lokmanya Seva Sangh. At present, she is state government nominee on academic council of Ruia College. We are very fortunate to have such eminent personality with us. So, may I request Dr. Kavita Rege Madam to deliver her valuable guidance on skill development and placement.
So, thank you very much for the kind introduction. And I must thank Dr. Vaidehi for giving me this opportunity to talk to you all and share my ideas about it. We had a very wonderful lecture by Professor Dr. R.S. Deshpande. Fantastic inputs he has given to the teachers. And it has been a great eye-opener for me too. So thank you very much, sir. It was a very enlightening lecture. And now let's move on to my talk. Student skills development and their campus placement, because campus placement happens to be the most important thing as an outcome of what we do in the college and our studies. And finally, the aim is to have a very good campus placement. So let us try and look at things as to why do we take education, because that is the basic idea of learning to have a reasonably good lifestyle, isn't it? Here 3R and 3H je mhanayache, whatever Gandhiji used to say, 3R was reading, writing and arithmetic. That were the important things to learn at school level. But he also insisted on 3H, which was head, heart and hands, wherein he said the cognitive skills, spiritual skills and psychometric skills have to be developed, and education should make a person self-reliant. What is self-reliant means? He should be able to, at the end of his education or at the end of some particular time, he should be able to look after himself on his own. So he should be able to survive in any setup. That is the basic idea of education. He should be able to take up challenges which come his way. So this is, are we really doing all that in our educational system? At school level, we focus mostly on marks. And though there is a little bit of framework of vocational education, which is being developed by MHRD, we still are giving a lot of importance to marks at 10th standard level. There is a little story that I would like to share with you. Dr. Abhay Bang, when he was working with the rural school children, He asked them once that you move around in the jungles, aren't you scared of tigers because they can actually kill you? The student said, no, we move in groups, and we, of course, we have our sticks in our hand all the time. So we all together can always shoo away a tiger. We are not scared of a tiger. So he asked the same question to city college students, city school students, and the student says, yeah, we will run. So Dr. Bang said, you will run, but tigers can run much faster than you. Children replied, I have to run faster than my friend. That's it. So I save myself. Look at the education actually imbibing in students' minds. So that is what we are doing with total concentration of gaining marks. We are making them very self-centered, and we are making them a little away from what their hands can do. So MHRD has come up with National Vocational Education Qualification Framework, which is in the process of implementation, which is a good framework which starts at school level at 8th standard, and there would be various entry exit points at 10th standard level, 12th standard level, etc. Or we have ITI. We also have Shramik Vidyapit, which offers small courses. We have some private institutions which actually help you develop your skill sets. If at all you are not really cut out for a very high level education, then you can actually deviate from the standard education after 10th standard and go into some skill education. The 10th and 12th standard are considered to be the landmark places. So there in after 12th, 10th standard, if at all you want to go for these vocational courses, you should. We also have vocational courses at 11th and 12th standard level, after which you're supposed to have it a terminal course, though majority of the students from vocational course tend to take an easy route to either commerce or arts faculty. So that is also the purpose of those vocational education courses run by the central government gets defeated in that process. But all the same, basically we need to make students to understand the importance of vocational education, because these are the courses that can actually give you a job at an early age. And in case you find a little difficulty in pursuing your higher studies, these are the courses which should be taken. But how do we decide that after 10th standard or after 12th standard also, what is the best course of action for me? It's very difficult actually to decide the what career you want to choose at 10th standard level, because what happens is at age 14, 15, we are quite undecided and the exposure is also not much. And after 10th standard level, we get the longest holiday ever possible. So what one should do is one should talk to the parents, senior people in the house, also parents, friends, and relatives, to find out what they are, in what profession they are, what is the requirement of that profession, what educational qualification is needed to reach that particular level, what is the demand of that job, whether I would like personally would like to do that, whether I would like to actually entire throughout my life I would like to do that particular job or not. So these are the things that one must ask oneself. You may or may not be aware of your strengths and weaknesses, but you definitely know what subjects you don't like. So you can actually start shortlisting the kind of profession that you would like to take up for next 30, 35 years in your life. So for that, you have to work towards it. You have to go on the internet, find out the scope of the job. So these are the things that one needs to do very much, because otherwise there is no limit to, like, there would be options, but there wouldn't be a way out as to what all you have to do, because otherwise blindly the students tend to go to science just because they have got good marks, and then later on say that, oh, I really hated science, I know I could get marks in that, but I didn't want to do it. So try and take a good look at what is your strength, whether you really like a job particular thing. So how do you make a career choice depends on what you are strong at, what are your weaknesses, and what you really like to do, whether you like the particular thing, whether you would love to stick to it throughout your life, whether you will enjoy working in that profession, whether you will enjoy sticking to, let us say, geography or economics, whether you would like to be a chemist, a scientist, a physicist, whether you throughout your life would you like to do that, or you would like to be a businessman, or you would like to be a business professional. So all these things you can, by use of internet, because right now with COVID we are all at home, and I think internet has become the best friend that we can have. This is one or tool wherein you can get a lot of information, and I would really request students to make a good choice for themselves and to look up all the possible professions that because there are not just 7 or 8 professions that have been like most favored by majority of the people. Anything that you love to do, I think, or a hobby also, you can raise it to professional level. And I think those who have passed their 12th standard level and now have entered college, what do we expect the college to do for us, or what do we expect that at that age we do for ourselves? See, we are at age good, let's say 16. um, at age 16 or 17 you enter the college, and undergraduate college generally teaches you quite a lot of things. You are um, you are mature enough to understand the difference between good and bad. You have become a little discernible, and now is the time to make the most of it, because this is the foundation that you can build for yourself for the next 30-35 years, and these 4-5 years have to be committed to making your foundation very, very strong. How do you go about it? First of all, maybe you have come from a vernacular medium, or maybe from English medium or whatever. You have to build language capabilities. You may be familiar with 2 languages or 3 languages. You have to be very good at it. You have to develop a good command on your language, and you have to build up your vocabulary, start reading more. General means fiction, non-fiction, anything that comes your way. You also have to keep abreast of what is happening in the real world. So you have to read the newspapers, you have to listen to the news. So all these things will give you language capabilities. You have to stick to your study skills as well, because 10th and 12th standard level, generally students keep studying a lot. The moment they enter degree college, they feel, oh, they have achieved everything and now they did not continue to study. But sorry, my dear students, the prospective employer always looks at what you have done in all the 3, 4, or 5 years of your graduation studies. Okay, so I would tell you that your CGPA or your grades have to be very good, because you will simply not get shortlisted otherwise. So be very careful about what are your grades, whether, and please try not to get a KT or something. So you have to keep your study skills up and do very well, which is very, very important. Then next point is your time management, because what happens is now is the time where you go for college work for 4, 5, or 6 hours, and rest of the time you can actually devote to other things. So what are these other things? First of all, you have to keep up with the college curriculum. So whatever you are studying at home, at least you should give 1 hour to your study at home. So study properly, so that whatever you have learned in the school, college will stick in your mind. That is the best way to manage your time, because otherwise when the exam comes, you are studying for 8, 10, 12 hours, and it becomes very, very taxing. Instead of that, regular study habit will help you in all this. But at the same time, you also have to do a little bit for yourself. You have to exercise, you have to build up your strength, because this is the age when you are aware of what is where you are lacking. So whatever are your weaknesses, you have to work on them. As I said, language capability is one, but beyond that, have you ever developed your hobbies? Have you looked at what are your strengths? Do you like music? Do you like dance, theater? reading, watching movies, any such thing that you like, you have to manage your time so that you are able to do everything that you feel like doing, because you are independent now. You can travel on your own, and you must utilize this time to build your personality. So your time at hand, everybody gets 24 hours. Some of them utilize it the best way possible. So you also have to understand the importance of time, because any second, any moment lost, you cannot gain ever back. Your friends, your money can come back to you, but not your lost time. So be very, very careful with your time now. There is resource management, money management also. Now, what is that? The resources or money management, first of all, you might think that it is only the pocket money that I am getting. Yes, that also is important. The pocket money that you get has to be very carefully used. But at the same time, if you are working in the college on some events, some programs, you are helping the teachers organize something, then you have a team of people, which is your human resource. And also maybe you will be granted some amount of money, which needs to be carefully used. The entire transactions have to be carefully managed, and you have to be responsible for the money that is made or that is allotted to you. So both these things will actually be very, very important in future. So you have to understand what it means. So resource management is the human resource as well as money, or the money management. So if you are planning an event, how do you go about procuring the resources required for that? That is, you have to have some funding for that. You will have to approach the funding agencies, some companies, so that they give you some money. Then how do you approach them? All these things will matter, and this is a skill which needs to be developed. Because I used to tell, our college used to organize lot of programs, lot of events. So I used to tell the student that please approach, because quite a lot of companies are interested in coming to campuses or making their presence felt in campus, and are ready to either give their banner or put up a stall, but they are a little reticent about it. So how do you go about it? Is please go very carefully, talk to them, present yourself very well, talk about the event that you are, how many footfalls will be there. So now all this is, you are trying to get as much of money, monetary resource as possible. There is every possibility that person says, oh no, I don't have time, come again. He may ask you to come 10 times, but then with the same enthusiasm, same happy smile on your face, you should be able to go there and try and get the maximum benefit out of that. Okay. Next thing you can do is internship in summer vacation. Nowadays, AICTE has insisted that engineering students must do 3 internships till they finish their 4th year. Now that's quite a tall order. But then internships nowadays, like COVID-19 has taught us that internships can be done on the internet as well. So you can either choose to do the internships on internet, or you can directly go to a company or an institution wherein they might be taking students. You can learn on the job. You can also get a flavor of what the job requirement is, whether you would like to do that kind of a job all through your life or not. Or if not, if you don't like it, you can go for some other internship next time. So this way you can actually build up your portfolio is one, but beyond that, you can get an understanding of what you really like and what you don't like about your own profession that you are seeking. So this is going to be an eye opener for you. So treat the internship extremely sincerely, learn about it, and approach the companies for internship. College can help you do that, because colleges definitely will provide a letter of recommendation, and that will be a great idea to do internship. So some of the students can manage internships during their college, a regular college also, which is great, but then not everyone will be able to do it. But do try and do some internships during at least the summer vacations. What else we can do is we can learn new courses simultaneously, because COVID has given a great opportunity. That there are a lot of massive online, that is MOOC availability. We have Coursera, we have Udemy. Lot of self-learning courses are available. A lot of foreign universities universities like Harvard, Boston University, King's College, they are all offering a lot of courses on the internet. Some of them are offering at discounted rates during COVID times, or some of them are free also. So please make the most of it during this time. That will give you an insight into what are you good at. This is something which you need to develop again and again, checking and rechecking with yourself as to what is your liking. What do you really love to do? Do you get interested in that? Do you enjoy doing it? Because this becomes this kind of a hobby, can be raised to a profession. So please do all that when you are doing. In the time management, I forgot to mention that you have to learn to turn in your assignments or your project work in time. Okay, majority of the students generally procrastinate and they become late in submission and then they lose out on marks. So please, during your time management, always make sure that you are giving your best to the coursework that you have chosen. Because, and also the project management, anything that you have been given, please try to give it absolutely perfectly. So this way I think you can make the most of improving your skill sets in college. Also participate in co and extracurricular activities, because college has number of activities. The simplest thing would be, if you are inclination of social work, then NSS is a great idea. Join in NSS or NCC, or if you're good at sports, try represent your college in sports. For this, again, time management is going to be very, very important, but do it please, because this gives you an edge over others. Just the way learning new courses is going to make you slightly above or on a better side of the employer. This also extracurricular activities like maybe dance, music, theater, art, drawing, painting, public speaking, or debates. Please participate in all these activities. There would be quizzes in the college. Try and make the most of it, because this is one exposure which is going to give you the kind of multitasking ability also. And you will be able to learn how to be with other students, because when you are doing these activities, you are actually interacting with a lot of other students. You are assessing yourself, how good you are, what you need to do more so that you are better at it. So always keep trying improving yourself, and this is the way to your dream job also, because it's not easy to just be very good in studies and then expect employer to give you a good job. No, he or she will look at what are your capabilities. So your capabilities or your time management or your multitasking ability can be improved by participating in all the activities that the college is offering. If the college is organizing events, be a part of that event. If you are new to the college, become a volunteer. Later on, you can actually rise to become uh, uh, sort of in charge of that event, or the chairman of that event, which is a great learning. Because see, to now the collaborative learning or working together is becoming extremely important in the companies. So they will be able to, the employers will be able to judge you whether you are good at it or not. Because how have you carried people along, what was the innovation that you did, whether you came up with great ideas, whether you had any special contribution to your college activities. All this will be seen by the prospective employer. And I would definitely tell you that maximum time if you spend in all these things, because the college really offers a lot of things, so make the most of it in the college premises by staying or giving your time, and sort of participating in every activity, becoming maybe not exactly jack of all trades, but at least mastering majority of the trades, which is the demand of today. Now let us see what, when you do all this, you definitely want to become a great professional, isn't it? You want to have your you want to land your dream job. But what is the employer looking at? He needs excellent communication skills from you. Now, what are communication skills? You have to have very good command on the language and very good vocabulary. That will come only by reading a lot, listening to, you can listen to news also, you can listen to lot of good programs, you can learn the very good diction also. Now when you are speaking on phone, to an prospective employer, how you present yourself, whether you have a very good voice, all that can be very easily seen by the employer. When you are writing an application, whether it is grammatically correct, whether it's using correct English, all these, the language capabilities and the communication skills are very, very important. Please do not use the language like you use on your WhatsApp, or like friends, the slang, that is absolutely no. So please try and understand that your communications skills have to be perfected with great effort. So try and make uh, that communication skills at college level itself you should start building up, as I told you earlier also, because it's very crucial to your landing a job. Now next is problem solving and critical evaluation skills. Now this is something which can come when you are when you have good observation skills. Like you have to observe what is happening around you, you have to interpret that, then objectively understand or analyze that particular thing, and come up with a solution, or at least evaluate why that problem has occurred, whether you can solve that problem. So you can, by observing something, by coming to an inference, maybe you can solve the problem, or at least you can offer some way out of that. So this is, you, with your knowledge, you have to use your critical thinking, vitally important in today's world. So assess a problem, learn to assess, you take some cases. You can have some difficulty in, like when I was saying that you're organizing a college program and you run into difficulties, how do you solve that? For that you have to keep observing people also, think logically why the problem has occurred, and try to find a solution. You can always take teachers help also, but you need to do all these things, because this is a very, very important technique which will come in handy in your professional life. Next comes the adaptability and flexibility, which adaptability is in today's world the key word. Are you able to adapt to the changing lifestyle, work environment? Whether if you are challenged with something, will you be able to take that challenge, or you will just say no and you will say that, okay, I'm not cut out for that, or I have not learned this, so I'll not be able to do it. Never say that, because there is somebody else who will be able to do it, and you will lose chance. So you have to understand what is the importance of adaptability. You must be able to wear multiple hats, like nowadays, because in post covid times the companies are not going to hire to the same extent. So maybe that workforce that is there, they may have to perform different tasks, and these tasks are going to be very, very challenging ones, but at least you have to give it a try. You cannot just say no. So you have to be flexible. You have to say that, okay, I may take time, a little time to learn about it, but I'll definitely do it. Something like this, if you can say, I think that a prospective or the employer will really like, and that will be some positive thing in this will go down as your strength. You can actually then you can take help of your fellow your colleagues also. You can learn from them. If you have read about Achyut Godbole. Achyut Godbole has written in his autobiography, Musafir, how he learned from his own colleagues who used to laugh at him that and say that, oh, this fellow doesn't know anything about computers or IT. He learned everything on the job. Every day he used to get up at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning and study, read and read and read till 9 o'clock, and then go to work. So this is how he adapted himself to the new challenges. Now one has to work hard towards that. Means it's not, life is not easy, but if you really want to be on the top of it, you have to work hard. And that is what actually it does give you a lot of rewards, benefits. At the same time, you also have to look after your fellow colleagues, how they uh, are you working together, are they accepting you? Here your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence also comes in handy. If you have not developed it, please be empathetic, please try and learn on college premises itself as to how to understand other people by observing them, by looking into their eyes, learning or studying from their body language, studying their body language. You can get lot of inputs in all this. So please do that. That is the most important thing, because studying a human or a man actually gives you an edge over others. Of course, management of time, as I said earlier, is very, very important at any time, because any project has been handed over to you. Please follow the deadlines. You cannot really just keep uh, extrapolating the deadlines, or can say that okay, I need some more time and I'm not really prepared for it. So some such things are not acceptable at all. So you need to stick to time, submit your project in a given time, or manage in such a way that you are always ahead of that. So as they say, Stephen Covey says the quadrants, how the quadrants are important, whether it is important, urgent. You have to decide what is most important and what is most urgent, and accordingly devote your time to the fruition of that. And that way you will be able to complete your projects on time and understand the importance as to what is going to be the outcome of your project. Now here in comes the leadership also, because when you are working, you are not working on any project alone. You have to carry people along. You may be a leader, but then you have to have a lot of interpersonal skills. How people are accepting your instructions, is it becomes whether they are accepting those, whether they are having any reservations about it, whether you have understood that these people are not sort of agreeing to what you are doing. You have to be very, very receptive to what they are doing. A good leader have to be very receptive. He has to have a lot of good collaborative skills also. So this way you will be able to emerge as a good leader. But essentially the collaboration nowadays is extremely important. Working together, working with people has taken a different, I think, level altogether in the company premise. Now, we need to be creative also, we need to be innovative also. I would just tell you an example how the student age, means like students are creative. Uh, our college organizes grad activities, intercollegiate science festival. And our students come up with such fantastic ideas. Once they actually a treasure hunt, I was just worried about a treasure hunt. I said, how are you going to do it? They organized, the team has to perform a small experiment in one of the classroom, and the outcome or the result of that experiment gives them another clue. They run to another lab, again they perform a small experiment. So fantastic, it was such a great experience for the participants, that these children really gave a great idea, you know so this is creativity which actually gives rise to lot of interest in your subject. Also our other management groups also, management like bachelor of management studies groups, they have been innovating. The commerce departments also have been. Once I remember, one group actually drew a snake ladder entire board in our college playground with chalk powder, and they made a huge big dice, colorful dice of stuffed, like a stuffed toy, and they were rolling it, and at every point they were asking questions, and then only you can roll a dice. The entire college was involved in that whole process. So it was such a great innovation. So such creativity can take you to greater heights. So that is how, when you are putting up your product in the market, this kind of creativity will take you much ahead. I remember one greeting card I saw long time back. That greeting that came from a company which used to make liquid nitrogen cylinders. Now this card was in the shape of that cylinder itself. So what a great publicity it was doing for itself. They were wishing you Diwali, but at the same time, what you had in your hand was a picture of that cryogenic cylinder. So that kind of innovation is needed all the time. Every time you have to innovate, and your creativity is to be put to use, great use all the time. So this is something which is very, very useful all the time. It keeps you on your toes and it makes the whole life enjoyable. About work ethics, absolutely necessary. The integrity towards your company, your work ethics have to be superb. Your morale has to be high. Morality at the workplace is very, very important. Please remember, no moonlighting, nothing which the company has told you not to do, you are supposed to. You are definitely not going to do that. So you have to be ethical about that, and that actually takes you a long way. So be passionate about what you are doing, be passionate about your company's progress, be dedicated to your work, take your company to higher levels all the time. So that must be the aim in life. And so this is what you have to understand, that all these things are needed if you want to be very successful in your professional life. You have to keep up with new technologies. Like in COVID times, all our teachers, we are all struggling with the new technology right now. Today also we have learning some new things. You also have to, the students also have to keep up with the new technologies. They have to learn new technologies, as well as they can teach also. Means at the moment I'm learning from my son how to use this particular technology, so he has become my teacher. So that way at home, you younger students, you can teach your elders at home the new technology, and you can become teachers also. So that would be a great satisfaction, and that will give you a great practice also. So just try and do something new every day, and that will be a great learning for yourself. Now, having done all this at college level, studying, learning, managing time, doing co-curricular, extracurricular activities, planning events, now you have to get ready for interview when you are in the final year of your course. How do you get ready for interview? Is first of all, is the resume or the curricular vitae or biodata, whatever you can call it, has to look very good. Now, how can it look very good? It doesn't have to have only your academic marks. Please understand, at school level and at college level also, you should have participated in various activities. You should have excelled in at least some of them. So that people can see that you are multitasking, you can manage your time very well, you can do a lot of things simultaneously, and can be good at it to at least achieve some certificates. Also, if you have not done anything till now, please go on the net and do some extra, like 15-day, 10-day courses. As I told you earlier, Shramik Vidyapeeth also has come out with 10-day courses. There are so many organizations which can give you these courses. There are foreign universities which are offering courses. So please, you go on Udemy, anywhere, improve your resume. Right now is the time. You can work during these COVID times when you are at home. Please make the most of this opportunity. Please take a good look at how does your CV look, whether any prospective employer would like your CV or not. So that is one thing very, very important. But at the CV level, please understand that your marks on paper every year have to be reasonably good. They don't have to be the top class. You don't have to have 95% or 90%, but at least minimum 65, 70%, 80%, something of that level. Otherwise, the employer will not simply not look at you. So please make sure that you have at least that much. Then comes the entrance test. Then either they will come to your college premises, or they might give you an entrance test or aptitude test online, and might ask you to, now this aptitude test, what is it about? So you can have uh, is quantitative. It generally tests your quantitative ability, logical reasoning, then language capabilities sometimes creativity and innovation, or your way of thinking is also tested. So depending on the company, there could be a variety of tests, but it's better to prepare. A lot of arithmetic also is required. So brush up your these school skills also, as well as your quantitative or logical thinking skills. So please brush it up, because that is an important test that you, because first of all, you appear for an entrance test, then only you can, that's the first test. So if you that go beyond that step, then only you will have the group discussion or any such thing. So quite often the companies, those who have passed or gone through successfully from the aptitude or entrance test, can are invited to group discussion. Now group discussion again will test your communication skills, but here your listening ability is also tested. Okay, how much do you listen to the other participants of your group? How perceptive you are towards what they are saying? Have you analyzed what they have said? Have you understood their point of view? And after that, can you consolidate what has happened in the entire discussion, and then can you put forth your own points? Can you talk about that? Then means at the end of it, the group discussion, can you sum up whether you have done a good job or not? Personal interview, of course, is very important. uh, your presentation of yourself, it is, be confident, dress neatly, maybe conservatively. Unless you are really going for a fashion industry interview or something, you have to dress conservatively. Read the newspapers, have some point of view, be bold, but be truthful. You don't have to really put on any act, because the interviewer can very easily see through it. So please, uh, for personal interview, prepare yourself well, and be able to put forth your opinion or your viewpoint in the modest possible way. You don't have to be very aggressive, but you can be very assertive about it. And going before that, please look up the company profile also, because if you are going for one particular company, you need to know what it is about, what are the products, what are the company activities. Take a look at the balance sheet also, if they have any CSR activities. Follow the big names that are, or the CEO of that company, if he's on LinkedIn, please look it up. Also take care of your own social media. Please be careful that you cannot just be uh, careless on the social media, and then still the company will be very happy to take you. Please understand, your presence of social media has to be guarded very well. So be careful about what you write on the blogs, what comments you make. So because quite often these companies go through that as well. So social media can be useful to you to find out the company profile. At the same time, you have to understand what your responsibility towards that also is. We go to teacher's role, because I think we are running short of time. So I'll quickly go for the teacher's role now. What do the teachers, when they are looking at the students, they have to identify the strengths of the students, find out whether the students are lacking, if they need to be groomed, they need to be told what they can be good at. Please identify their strengths and talk to them about it. Help them build their strengths. Okay, then according to their options or their choices or their expertise, please guide them to choose appropriate company or institution. Help them to choose the proper job profile, so that they can actually be good at it, because it cannot be a just a chance happening that you are going for a company. Build up their confidence. They have to be urged, because this at this age 20 or something, or not all students are very confident. So, and always remember, aggressiveness is not liked. Assertiveness, yes, but not the aggressiveness. So please make sure that your students are ready for any particular let's say group discussion or personal interview, very important. We have to build their confidence, and that is the job of a teacher. So please make sure that you are giving them case studies for real world or real world assignments or case studies. Let them study the balance sheets of the companies, that way they will be on the top of that. So they have to be they have to learn about it. Also help them in preparing their CV, give them some guidance about how to build up on which additional courses they can take. They have to learn about public speaking as well, so that which comes in handy in group discussion as well as in personal interview. And lastly but not the least, personal grooming, because they have to present themselves very well. They cannot just go at the way they come to college, so they have to be groomed properly. They have to have those soft skills. Sometimes even they have to be helped with their clothes as well. So please help them in every way. The teacher has to, mm, I think, do the role of a parent here and take utmost care, because they are our children. They have to do well, and this is the job of a teacher, to make sure that our children are well polished and we send them out before we send them out to the world, because world is not going to be very very caring, or sort of, they are not going to be very sweet to them. So we have to make sure that our children are ready to face the world. Here I would also like to talk about the role of college. Like, college has to build up contacts with alumni. Now, why with alumni? One thing is, the college may have a big name, but the companies don't come just like that because you have a good name or you are very good in academics. They go through your alumni list. So if you please do contact your alumni, invite them to your college, make them give lectures, or ask their CEO if possible to come to your college in every way possible. Like, there is always a possibility that they might help you raise funds for your college also. Uh, uh, if you sort of invite the higher ups in that company, or your student himself or herself is really in a high position, please request them to come to your college for campus placement, which actually, because the alumni will have a greater insight into what our college is doing. Appoint a teacher in charge of campus placement, very very important. At least one, if not two or three teachers should be in charge of campus placement, depending on their specializations. Because this is why this is important, is because they might be familiar with their own field, and they may not be able to, they may able to guide students in a different field. So might as well have two or three teachers, why not? And let them guide the students about the companies, about which companies to choose, how to go about it, so campus, and how to invite. So teachers also will have to work on the contacting the alumni and requesting them to come for to the campus, uh, interact with the alumni. Maybe the senior students also can interact with the alumni. So this way, building a synergy with the past students always helps. Also, the college can identify student leaders who can sort of take charge of this particular, like if any company is coming over to your college, then the student leader can take care of the hospitality, or making arrangements for the group discussion, or keeping a room ready for personal interviews. Some such things can student leaders can do very well, and students really are good at such things. They take it upon themselves as a challenge and they do extremely well. We really, at times I feel, we underestimate our children as students, but they are excellent at these things. And so we must make use of their capabilities in such things. And they finally, we have to welcome the prospective employers also very well, because they are the ones who are going to take our students. So they have to be, preferably if the principal can meet them, I think that will create a very good impression. So principal has to keep some time for spare, principal must spare some time, so that they also uh, discuss a few things. What are the employers expectations, what kind of role our students should play there. So all these things, if the principal gets an idea about it, I think it will go a long way in helping the students. Also, principals can, or the college can, organize career fairs. They can tie up with NGOs like Rotary Club and all that, because quite a lot of these NGOs do organize career fairs or employment fairs. So invite companies to put up stalls in their college during events. Because sometimes some companies would like to help monetarily also, so that they have visibility on the campus premises, because any event organized in college have lots of footfalls, and companies are interested in being visible at that particular location. So please sort of make sure that you uh, get lots of companies to come to your campus, so that they are all familiar with the campus and the students, as well as what best we can do with them. So I think I have done most of my talk about the placement and all that, but here I would like to give a word of caution, because post COVID, the employers are being very reticent about the new new recruitment. They are simply pushing even the dates. Those who have been offered jobs and they were supposed to join on particular date, are the dates are joining dates are also being pushed by 2 or 3 months. It's a very difficult scene. Students will have to brace themselves for self-employment also. These are some opportunities one has to look at, because there is a possibility that the companies may not be interested this year to come for campus placement, or for offering that many jobs. There is a possibility that even the packages that they are offering would be reduced this year. So one must have, if at all you don't get a job, please do not fret. The scene is very difficult. Please try to build your CV by taking some online skill courses, some skill training. Check the courses which are being endorsed by them, some industries, then if you do that course, you are likely to get a job in that particular industry. So please try such things. There is a lot of unorganized sector also. 93% they say is unorganized sector, which has plenty of opportunities. Something as simple as giving a tiffin, cooking at home and giving a tiffin also can fetch you good amount of money. So why not? Means if at all you're not getting a job, don't get disheartened, don't get frustrated. We just have to keep up our morale, keep up our spirit, because there are a lot of things that one can do. So if you are a good cook, then I think you can make some specialty sweetmeats. Fancy cakes also are fetching a lot of good price nowadays. You can make kitchen supplements also. If you have, instead of just a hobby, if you have raised it to professional level, you can be a dance music teacher. If you have learned yoga, you can be a good yoga teacher. This is how you'll have to become an entrepreneur by yourself, because the things could be difficult. So after the examination and after passing out, if you are not offered a job, do not fret. Think of different things that you can do. You can, if you are an artist, you can do handicraft items, you can do painting, you can be a fashion designer. In today's world, you can even design some nice masks and sell them, or cotton bags, which are forever in demand nowadays. The company called as Urban Clap offers jobs to trained professionals. Like even if you have learned some plumbing or an electrician, or you are good at giving beauty treatments, you are a good massagist, you have opportunities through Urban Clap as well. There is a lot of scope as long as you don't mind getting your hands dirty. There is Abraham Lincoln story about it. When Abraham Lincoln was elected president of America, and before his first speech, when he stood up, one very rich gentleman, uh, MP, stood up and said, Mr. President, do you know that your father used to make shoes for us? He said, now this is was trying to put him down. But then Abraham Lincoln, cool as cucumber, he said, yes, I am very proud of it. I know here there are many people for whom my father used to make shoes. And I'm very proud of it, because my father had raised that to such an art that people would come to him for making shoes. And I'm sure there won't be any complaint about the shoes that he has ever made. But sir, if you still have some complaint, I also have learned that, and I can make a very good pair of shoes for you too, sir. If you really need it, do let me know. Now just imagine, President of America saying that he can make shoes for someone does tell you that how important the skill sets that you possess are needed. Lot of skills are needed to keep yourself in good stead. So please make sure. Our Prime Minister also has been saying, make in India. So please build up your skills so that you can become an entrepreneur, and you can actually, instead of seeking an employment, you yourself can become an employer. And look, you can look after yourself well. I think in COVID times, that is another thing that we have to learn, to look after oneself well in the stressful times. How do you take care of yourself, your health, your nutrition? So I think I would advise here a little bit of meditation to keep, and rest also to keep your spirits up. But remember the conventional, I think, virtues of respecting people, honesty, integrity, hard work, perseverance, taking on challenges will take you a long way. So learn to look after yourselves very well. Take this as an opportunity. COVID has come as a scare, but let us turn it into a welcome opportunity, making ourselves stronger, purer, and ready for all the challenges the world can throw at ourselves. Thank you very much, Adarsha College and Madam Vaidehi. And thank you, listeners, for giving me so much of your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, madam, for sharing such wonderful insights about skill development and placement. Your ideas definitely help us of, in the scenario of this disaster. Now, some of our enthusiastic participants wants to ask some questions. So with your due permission, first question, that do you think education system should be changed to give more weightage to skill development rather than theoretic study? Gurukul system of education is more beneficial than today's modern system of education?
See, what has happened is, unfortunately, we all have started going for higher education. Basically, the idea is not everyone is cut out for higher education, research, kind of research that is expected at graduate and postgraduate level. We have always, what has happened is, unfortunately, the government also insisted on graduation as the entry qualification. So everybody started going for graduation. But after 10th or 12th standard level, if you enter any sector, then you can develop your skills on the job also, and you can actually rise. And with NVEQF, I think one can actually pursue or continue with higher studies as well, right up to master's degree program. So it is not that you can learn on the job. When you are earning money, you can continue studying. What I personally feel is, what has happened is, after 12th standard, the students, when they enter graduation, they are becoming a little lax and lazy. They are not really keeping up that perseverance till what they showed till 12th standard. And I really feel that if you are not interested, please leave studies after 12th standard, take up a job, and work yourself through the sort of workforce, and then improve on your, we have a lot of distance education programs as well. Later on you can improve on your educational qualification. There is no need to always take up higher education, which I personally feel is kind of making students a little lethargic. See, they attend a college for 4 or 5 hours, and after that, what are they exactly doing? They're really not doing anything much with their time. So that is one thing that has that irks me a lot. So they are wasting their time. So just think about it. Thank you. I think I have answered your question. Is that
Thank you,
okay?
ma'am. Thank you so much.